Hello, and welcome to the 105th episode of the Friday Nightmares podcast. Today on Friday Nightmares podcast, Scotty and I try to find a new way to record now that Skype no longer is a service provider. So that's been its horror movie within itself. But my name is Heather Powell. I am one half of the Friday Nightmare podcast, and I am coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me, as always,
Mr. Smoke Show Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek, in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. Fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the glorious beard, a.k.a. Mother of Cats, a.k.a. the man with the humongous ego, a.k.a. Scotthausen, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie, a.k.a. Spanky, a.k.a. Hey Scott, a.k.a. I'm bald. At least that's what my youngest calls me.
that's so kind and just so descriptive. What more do you need to know?
Yeah, well, and it's beautiful because since Jaden loves to call me bald, Erica bought me this shirt that says, I'm not going bald. I'm just getting more head.
That's pretty funny. You see, that's wife material right there.
Exactly. But yeah, this whole freaking Microsoft Teams bullshit. Screw you, Microsoft. Skype was easy and you could use it for free, and now you gotta do this premium bullshit, and this is dumb.
Yeah, so spoiler behind the scenes, we tried Teams, didn't work, because you have to have a premium account. And then we went into Google, because I was like, okay, it says you can record on Google Meet, and of course you have to premium account, but luckily it gives you a 31-day trial, so this may be the last episode ever of Friday Nightmares.
Yeah, because we ain't wanting. I mean, we love recording, but we ain't investing money. Come on, now.
Pay $15 a month. So I think
I'm still using the same freaking headset that I bought when we first started this podcast. For crying out loud!
Yeah, we're not like big budgets like the Dummies of Horror podcast. You know what I mean? Like
they are the Beef Wellingtons of horror podcasting. So obviously they are rich and have so much money because you got to be a rich person to be able to have.
We don't ask for handouts in Patreons. Let's just put it that way, Scott.
No,
we're
just
hardworking, just hand jobs. That's true. We're like, oh no, wait, we don't want money. We just want sexual gratification. I think. So we'll try to figure out Discord. That will be, I think, the hot thing that all the young kids are doing is that these two elder millennials will somehow figure out how to use Discord in the next 30 days. Which can't be that hard. AI exists now. We can Google AI.
I mean, yeah, I'll say I have Discord for my gaming laptop, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but I think that's what you and Luffy are using now to record. I'm not sure, but yeah, I use Discord on very rare occasions when I played online with my buddies when I was playing Magic, and it's a mess trying to figure out things out there for me. Like maybe it's because I'm old and technologically just not with it, but yeah, I was confused trying to figure out my way around that damn site.
We're like, why can't things be simple like they were back in the day of Skype?
Yeah, back in my time, I don't care that there was all these porn bots constantly trying to call me. God.
It gave us attention. It made Scotty and I feel like someone cared.
Exactly.
Well, we'll get right into the movies. I do have my nephew today who naps like a boss. So I just put him down for nappies because I didn't think he would care about the horror movie podcast. We're going to go watch Serbian film later, of course.
Of course.
Solo as well. I figure we might as well. Megan is missing, I don't know, what's some martyrs?
Yeah, dead girl.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just get and then little nice taster, Winnie the Pooh blood and honey, just so he knows how fucked up his hand is early on, right? Absolutely. So we'll jump right into it. It's been a while.
Wow.
And it might be even longer to Scott and I figure out how to record stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out Discord too, and maybe together we can bring our powers together to.
Yeah, with our powers combined, we might figure out Discord.
Right, though I do think Facebook can record stuff too, so I'm gonna look into Messenger as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know, this kind of just sums up the year. Maybe it's a sign because these movies haven't been great. There's been a handful of very good films I have seen, I will say, or films that were just really good because they touched me in special places.
I like it when I'm touched in special places.
But it has been a year. It has
Yes, it
been a
has.
year. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a
Right?
sign, Scotty.
Good God.
So I'll start off with the first one on our list. The Woman in the Yard. This is a, I don't know, also known as the Babadook. Oh, bummer.
Pretty much.
Anyway, don't let her in. It's the tagline for this one. In the aftermath of her husband's death, widow Ramona struggles to raise her two kids, is hindered by the arrival of a mysterious woman with supernatural abilities. This wasn't a horrible film by any stance of the imagination. It was very much a paint by numbers film. I see you gave it 2.5 stars. I think that's a very fair rating.
Yeah. It's basically Blumhouse trying to be A24, but
Yes.
a little too late. Like we've been there, done that. Like Erica and I both kind of called what was happening.
Oh yeah, it was pretty easy. Like in the
Yeah.
first 10 minutes, you were like, "And this is the movie." I will say the main character, Daniela's Deadweiler performance is excellent. I think she is a great actress. I think she prepares the role well. Actually, I didn't have a beef with any of the acting in this.
No, neither did I.
It was just the story was dumb.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
was.
I mean?
It was dumb, and it just. Yeah, it's been done before. Like it's almost like paint by numbers, exactly like some of the other
yeah.
movies we've seen. Like it's and obviously like slashers are all paint by numbers, but they add something. This was just it just felt like it was a copy and paste.
Like this was like, oh, Babadook was too much for you. You didn't feel like watching it. Here you go. It's the same film, only shorter and less
Yeah.
metaphors.
Exactly.
But you know what? It was a simple, easy watch. It filled a void. I don't think it's going to get like a worst of the year. I don't think it deserves that. I think it understood its assignment and was less than 90 minutes long. So give you credit for that film. But yeah, definitely, it wasn't. I don't know. It's what you would expect if you watched horror movies for the last several years, more than just 5 of them. You know what was going to happen to Scotty.
Oh, 100%.
Clearly
Yeah.
said, right?
Yep.
But this next one you just saw.
Yes, I did. So
Mm.
Erica and I just sat down on was it Friday night and watched Until Dawn, which has a 103-minute runtime. Every night, a different nightmare. 1 year after her sister Melanie mysteriously disappeared, Clover and her friends head into the remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. Exploring an abandoned visitor center, they find themselves stalked by a mass killer and horrifically murdered one by one, only to wake up and find themselves back at the beginning of the same evening. So this is based off a PlayStation 4 video game of the same name, Until Dawn. And this was one of my favorite video games that I'd played in that generation. It's basically a choose your own adventure style horror movie, except you basically play almost like the director of the movie, going, okay, I'm going to have this character be an asshole and make the dumbest choices because I don't like him and I want him to die. And you'll just have and then these events happen and you're playing out throughout this movie. So it's kind of hard to make a movie where there is no set storyline if you're basing it off the video game, because there are so many different pathways you could go down. I love what they did with this, with the whole kind of Groundhog's Day, they die, wake back up, they die, wake back up, and having to kind of try to figure out how to get out of this scenario before it's too late. The acting was decent all around. I wouldn't say anything amazing. It did have the girl from the Hellraiser remake that played the main character in that, and
Nice.
I liked her a lot. I thought all the characters were decent. The gore in this was pretty awesome. There were some really fun kills. Peter Stormare is in this, and which is awesome because he is also in the video game as his own, and he basically is almost kind
Nice
of playing
touch.
the same character. Yeah. A lot of nods to the video game. The storyline definitely goes in a different direction, but me being a huge fan of the Until Dawn game, I went in expecting them to try something different because, like I say, it's kind of hard to. What would be the point of just remaking the game with like as the movie? Because it'd just be pointless. It almost plays out like a movie as it is. So I like what they did. It's a nice touch. I had a lot of fun. There are definitely a lot of nods to the source material. And yeah, this is definitely an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Like, I am definitely going to rewatch this. And with the way the year is going, this may make my top 10. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one. I found it to be a lot of fun. Some people I've seen are complaining about it, saying that it's too confusing and it doesn't stick to the source of the video game. But if you go in just saying this is going to be a fun horror movie with a bunch of different fun kills, you'll have a lot of fun.
And you know what? I'll take what I can get, Scotty.
They're right. Yeah, right. Especially this year. Jesus Christ.
Like I'm like a hungry dude at the bar. That's just like anyone will do. Anyone with a heartbeat. Any movie with a heartbeat. So I never even said where you could find Woman in the Yard. It's available on like Google and Cineplex and YouTube if you decide that you want to rent it. Both Scotty and I didn't love it, so we obviously don't think it's worth the price. But what about this one? Where can we find this one?
This one actually just became available to buy and rent this week on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video, Fandango at Home, and YouTube.
And you recommend it?
Yes, I highly recommend it. I had a lot of fun with this one, and I think when you watch it, you'll have fun with it too.
I will like it. I already know I'll enjoy it. The next one, I'm so glad that you went next because I watched this movie so long ago that I forgot until I like really thought about it. And I'm like, oh yes. So this movie is live stream. As a team, it's Scott's favorite social media influencers. He loves them actually. It's his favorite genre of films.
My favorite.
This is why Skype ended, because Scott doesn't like social media influencers. They targeted Scott specifically. They did. As a team of live streamers embarked on a haunted house challenge, they quickly realized that the scares may be more real than they anticipated. Like our haunted house, it's Skype no longer existing, us being unable to use Teams. Just feeling like we don't know what's going on. With each twist and turn, they must navigate through the terror and fight to survive the night. This is a found footage film. I can't remember if it follows all the found footage rules. The characters are quite obnoxious in this. I will warn anybody who wants to watch this. I know.
Shocking. Influencers that are obnoxious. No.
And like they're supposed to be obnoxious, right? But
yeah.
It was fine. You know, I will say it captured my attention for the 91 minutes. The plot moved pretty quickly. You know, basically they go out to this house and it turns out it's not supposed to be a haunted house. It's just supposed to be a place they're chilling in the woods kind of for the weekend. And then things do not go as planned. And I did enjoy it. For what it was worth, I thought that it was a quality film. I see David Garrett here has given it 3 stars and a pretty good review, and I think that's fair. But I will say the social media influence characters are annoying. So if those characters annoy you, then you may not want to watch this movie. But if you are a found footage completist and you enjoy social media influence horror, this could be one for you. Unfortunately, it's not available on Tubi. This would definitely be a watch that I would say to people, if it's on Tubi, check it out. It is only available on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, YouTube, and Fandango. I would say this is worth to rent it if what I described sounds like your thing.
And see, I am torn because I am a found footage aficionado completionist, but I hate social media. So it's like, I'm going to watch it and I'm probably going to hate it.
And the thing is, we get screeners from our friends. So it's a little bit of a different situation. But for the other folks out there, I would say only watch this if found footage and social media influencers are your thing.
Good to know.
Yeah. Did you watch this next one?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So as I was watching this, I'm like, oh, that looks like it was filmed in Hamilton. Oh, yes. Yes, the whole thing was filmed in Hamilton. In like the most shady, like rundown areas, which gives you an idea. This felt like a made-for-TV film. Anyway, it's called It Feeds. Well, Ashley Graham's in it. That kind of gives it away, does it not? You know what I mean?
I recognize that name.
She was in a lot of like TV movies and shit. Like,
okay.
Yeah, in the 90s and 2000s and shit. So anyway.
That's like, I recognize her, but I can't picture her.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It feeds. A clairvoyant therapist confronts her own personal demons while trying to save a young girl who believes a malevolent entity is feeding on her. The Sean Astin Moore is in this movie, and I'll be honest, he's the highlight of this movie. I really like Sean Astin Moore. He's a Canadian actor, and he definitely had the acting chops out of everyone in this. So, and he kind of
Fair.
plays like a anti-protagonist, so you can kind of get behind him. It's very much we're gonna be like, what was the one with Lin Shaye, those movies, Insidious,
Yes.
winky winky winky,
Oh
but not
boy.
really. Yeah, so if you are a fan of films like Insidious and you really liked Insidious, all of them, you're like, oh my god, these movies are the best, then It Feeds could be for you. It follows a very similar plot line of a demon entity attaching itself to somebody and this other world that someone needs to go into to fight the entity. Some good special effects, entertaining enough, but not something that I would say people need to go run out and watch. Matt Wood has watched it. He's given it 2.5 stars. I will only read one line because, again, his reviews are the best, but they do give a little bit of a spoiler.
Right.
And I think he sums it up. This is literally the most generic horror film out there. Everything about it screams mediocrity. And I think that Matt has hit it right on the money there. It's not bad, but it's also not good. It's literally Mr. Midway. I don't know, Matt, you took the words right out of my mouth, baby. That is exactly what I would say. Um, so, unfortunately, this is not another movie that's available on Tubi. It's
Oh,
only available
of
to
course.
rent.
Don't do it.
Um, I would say the only thing I would add to what Matt's review is, and this is a runtime of 102 minutes, is you really gotta like stuff like Insidious. Like I'm talking like this is obviously a step below Insidious, but it's the same kind of theme. And if that's your thing, then this may be a movie that you enjoy, but I wouldn't run out and watch it. Like for the Tims and the Daniels out there, this is not needed for your list. I would tell Rob it's not needed, but he'd be like, I already know that, Heather, and I only watch good movies. So I
Well,
don't tell Rob.
well, if you tell Rob don't watch it, he will watch it just cause, and then blame you for making him watch it. That's
It's
how he
true.
rolls.
Yes, he's already pretty mad at me for other things, so I don't want to add to the fire.
I'll continue adding to the fire.
We could add to the fire. So that's It Feed, and I'm excited for the next one because I haven't had a chance to watch this yet. So I really want to hear your thoughts.
All right. So yeah, the next one is a Shudder exclusive. We got a chance to watch this one last weekend. But it is The Ugly Stepsister. Tagline is If the shoe doesn't fit. In a fairy tale kingdom where beauty is a brutal business, Elvira battles to compete with her incredibly beautiful stepsister, and she will go to any lengths to catch the prince's eye.
I
So
feel
this,
like that's my life with Erica and you. Like I'm competing against you, and that the wedding's my last shot.
don't worry,
I was like,
you
I was
you
like,
you already stole Erica's heart, Heather.
I was like, Erica, which dress do you like more that you want me to wear? She's like, Heather, just pick one. I'm like, no, Erica. What do you like?
It's
Sorry.
so true.
Anyway, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're right.
Actually, I did. I did mean to interrupt
Yeah,
because I thought I
I'll
was
say that.
funny.
I mean, and plus this is our dynamic.
Yeah, this is.
But yeah, The Ugly Stepsister is obviously a telling of the Cinderella story, but in the from the perspective of the quote unquote ugly stepsister. And this is, basically a movie about beauty standards and kind of being body shamed for how you look because you don't stand out as one of the pretty girls and blah blah blah. And I say it's a Norwegian or Finnish film, I believe, so it is subtitled. But I'd say the actress that plays Elvira, Leah Miron, does an amazing job. She is like, you feel so bad for her, like she nails this role, and it's basically I would kind of put this in the body horror aspect of or genre of horror. I have heard that it's like, people going, oh my God, this is the grossest thing and it's sick and depraved, blah, blah, blah. I watched it and it's not that bad. It does have a few moments where I was just like, oh no, no, no. But all in all, it's kind of, if you're a fan of Cronenberg body horror, you've seen gooier type of body horror. To be fair,
So
but
should I watch it?
yes, I was just gonna say I do recommend this. I think this was good. It might be a little long in the tooth, but it is very good. I would say it's possibly a contender for my top 10. I
Hmm,
really enjoyed it. I was actually hooked from the very beginning, and the like I said, the acting all around amazing. Trying to put everything into words here, but and yeah, it follows the Cinderella story pretty accurately, except for it goes the Grimm's fairy tale story of Cinderella instead of the Disney happy style. So it's if you know the Grimm fairy tale story, you know there's a certain part when it comes to the shoe that happens to the ugly stepsister, and I'll leave it at that. But I found this to be a very good movie. Yeah, definitely not as horrific as I was expecting, but it definitely had Erica looking away quite a few times.
nice. Hey, that's a good sign.
And yeah, this one is available on Shutter, and I definitely recommend it. And it kind of fits along with our new award that we got going on with the whole public domain character movies that we're gonna have.
Excellent. You know what? I'm here for it.
Oh, I know you are. Oh, I
I'm
know
here
you are.
for it. I'm gonna watch it, and it's just on the Shuddy, right?
Yep, on Shutter.
Okay. Okay. You know, Shudder's at least bringing it. Thank you, Shutter. You're trying. You're bringing
Exactly.
some different stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There's this movie called Dead Mail. Um,
Oh boy.
okay. An anonymous help note finds its way to a 1980s post office connecting a dead letter investigator to a kidnapped keyboard technician. Yes, that sounds as boring as it is. Just this movie is a 3.2 rating. Matt also talked about how boring this movie was. It's 106 minutes. It's available on Shutter. It's a Shutter original, I think, but it's also available on Apple TV. Um, this movie was really, really smart. You know, it's a very smart movie, and I bet there's going to be people out there that fucking love this film. You know, they're going to be like, it was so good. It was so, well acted, which it was. Very well acted, very well filmed. But Jesus Christ, it was boring. Like, Jesus Christ, it was like, I was like, I don't fucking care about these fucking letters. I don't fucking care. Like, it was just really like, I don't know. I really struggled getting through this one, which is a shame because I can tell it's a good film. You know, it's a well-made, well-acted movie. It just wasn't for me. I'm sure there's somebody out there that had the patience to go through this kind of film, but it kind of reminded me last year with Long Legs. Long Legs dragged out too, and that
Okay.
was, you know what I mean, and it kind of like it was very Oz Perkins,
Yes.
and you got to be into that kind of thing to like that kind of film. And this kind of reminded me of that, only not as good as something that Oz Perkins would do. And I don't know. If you like really slow burns and a lot of dialogue and 1980s aesthetic, this movie's for you. I don't suggest you watch it, Scott.
Yeah, it does not sound like anything I would be interested in.
No, it's just if this was 2020 and we had nothing else to do, I'd be like, sure,
Right.
sure. But we have lives now. So
Yeah.
I feel like it just doesn't fall into the criteria.
Well,
But
especially with me, when it takes me about 3 to 4 hours to finish an hour and a half long movie.
yeah, this is movie that would take you out. But if anyone does want to see it and they're into what I talked about, it is available on the Shutter, Apple TV, and of course AMC Plus. Did you
All
watch
right.
Screamboat?
I sure did.
Nice. Let's hear your thoughts on Screamboat.
All right. So, yep, Screamboat has a 102-minute runtime. A scream is a wish your heart makes. A late night boat ride turns into a desperate fight for survival in New York City when a mischievous mouse becomes a monstrous reality. So this has been one that I'd been super excited to see because it's David Howard Thornton playing Steamboat Willie, and it's David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown and the way he does his expressions and mime style. So I was looking forward to it. I didn't know what really to expect. It ended up being just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with David Howard Thornton's performance. He did amazing as Steamboat Willie. The one thing I didn't expect was Steamboat Willie to be super tiny. I
Yeah,
expected him to
that
be
was weird.
full size, but he ended up being like a miniature version, which I'm guessing they somehow used a green screen, shrunk him down, or a perspective thing. Which I thought was cool how they did it, but it just took me out of it for a second. Like, what the hell? Every character is absolutely unlikable in this movie.
Hmm.
I did not care for a single character. Some of the gore was pretty good, some of it was eh. I enjoyed myself for about the first half, and then it just kept going and going, and it felt like it wasn't going to end,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the gag kind of ran itself dry. It would have been fine if it was like an hour and 15 hour long movie, but it just, yeah, they drug it out and it just was not that interesting to me, unfortunately. Trying to think, David Howard Thornton, like I said, did amazing. He had me laughing quite a bit. There are a lot of nods to like little Disney references throughout the movie, which were fun to pick up on. But yeah, all in all, it was fine. It was definitely a disappointment compared to what I was hoping for.
I think you said everything I needed to say. Literally, ditto. Like what you said sums up exactly my thoughts going into it, how I felt watching it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was much longer than it needed to be.
Yeah, and like I say, and when you don't have characters to be invested in and root for besides the killer himself, which can be fun for a short period, but like when it's drug out like that long, you just don't have like that much to connect to, and you just lose interest.
100%. But if you, I don't know, I have a hard time recommending renting this. I really do.
Yeah, I'd say like a 2.99 rental at most.
Yeah, like it's available Apple TV, Amazon, Fandango. Maybe wait till this is on Tubi. Eventually, it's gonna be on Tubi. Just wait. You don't need to
Yeah,
see it this year.
yeah, don't rush out.
Yeah, like it was a disappointment. I agree with you. Um, yeah. Did you see Freelance this
I
weekend?
did not.
Okay. So Freelance. So this one came out last year film festivals. It's been picked up for wide release this year. It's not paranoia if it's real. When a down on her luck video editor takes on a mysterious well-paying job cutting snuff films, she is
Oh,
haunted by she is haunted by the visions of people in her videos. So the interesting thing about this is that you're not sure at first if the snuff films are real or not real. So throughout the whole thing, it's basically her trying to figure out what is real and what is not. Because at the beginning, she's editing porn, which we all know is fake. I know for some of those
oh,
listeners today, they are shocked
you just
that
destroyed my
those
dreams.
stepsisters and stepbrothers when they come home from the military aren't necessarily, well, I'm sure some of them are having sex, but not to the same variety that Pornhub has made us believe.
But what about
Uh,
the pool guy and pizza guy? That's not real?
that's apparently not how you pay for pizzas because I've tried and they
Oh,
insist on money.
damn.
I know. They're like, look, man, things are hard. Can you just give me the fucking money? So I really do think this is a unique concept. It's not a found footage film, which I appreciated. I thought that that was kind of a nice change. I wasn't sure if they were going to do more of like a found footage from this, but they didn't. I do think it's interesting. I do think it's worth a watch for you, Scott. I don't know if how Erica will feel about it, but it is interesting. It is a little long at 110 minutes. I think that this could have been a 90-minute film. But that being said, I do think they built on the characters and what was happening, but they do leave a little bit of confusion at the end. But if you like the whole kind of is this real or is it not real kind of thing, and someone exploring whether they think it's a reality or not, then you can check this out. It is available on Amazon, Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube, and Microsoft Store.
All right. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I would say watch it if you have the time.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. What is the next one? All right, the next one is me because you have not watched this
No,
just
I
yet.
have not.
So Netflix just dropped on Friday, which would have been May 22nd, I want to say. Fear Street Prom Queen. So the next Fear Street movie in the series, and based off the Prom Queen book, winning just might be the death of you. Who will be voted queen at Shadyside High's 1988 prom? For underdog glory, competition is cutthroat even before someone starts killing off the candidates. This has got a 90-minute runtime, just that beautiful sweet spot.
Nice. Thank you, movie. Thank you.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun. This went back to the like 80s style, has the 80s music. Like, remember how I was making fun of like
Yeah.
Fear Street about how it always like, hey, remember this song? Remember this song? You remember this song? This has it, but it seems like they kind of toned it back a little bit and only had it like majority of it at like the prom, which made sense. But yeah, it was based in the 80s, and the characters were, cheesy to unlikable to just kind of that nice mix of like that teeny slashy style horror film. And this is definitely a slasher. Some fucking awesome kills. I was really impressed. Like, kind of remind me. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the Fear Street trilogy had some really fucking kick-ass kills too. So yeah, they went all out with the gore and the kills in this. The reveal on who done it of the killer and all that, not surprising, but all around this was just a very fun 80s themed slasher and set during that prom setting where, of course, they over glamorize prom and everything like that to the extent that they do in movies. It felt like a new adaptation of Prom Night and just nailed that aesthetic.
Okay. So check it out on Netflix if you haven't.
Yes, highly recommend. This was a very fun slasher.
I'm excited to hear this because Netflix doesn't always release a lot of good domestic stuff.
Yes.
So it's nice to hear that that's come out of Netflix. That's good news.
Yeah, this is if you liked the other Fear Street movies, I think you'll dig this one.
Excellent. I may watch it tonight. Did you see this one, Hell of the Summer?
I started it, have not finished it yet.
Okay. So I'll be careful with how much I talk about it then. Finn Wolfhard is the director behind this, along with Billy Brake. Pick your body bags. When 24-year-old Jason Hochberg arrives for the counselor weekend at his beloved Camp Pineaway, his biggest problem is feeling out of touch with his teenage coworkers. Little does he know a mass killer has murdered the camp owners, John and Kathy, and is preparing to strike again. So this is very much like a throwback to camp slashers. I thought it was a really interesting film. I do think they dragged, again, this is another example of where they dragged this movie out longer than needed. And it was even 88 minutes. And even then, I kind of felt like parts of it were dragged out.
Oh, geez, that's not good.
but generally speaking, I did find it entertaining. I did find it cool as a little slasher. I know Tim didn't like it. He thought that the story was bland and the kills were off screen or not creative. Yeah, I think that's a fair critique. I liked the beginning probably the most, and some of the dialogue I did think was kind of funny, and it kind of picked up towards the end, but it was definitely kind of mediocre. It sounds like Fear Street is a better slasher than this was, which is a shame. Because I think this had really good parts in it, and then it just dipped, and really good parts, and then it dipped. And I think
Okay.
that hurt it in the long haul. But if people are slasher completists or they want to see what the kid from Stranger Things has done, you can check it out on Google Play, Plex, YouTube, Amazon Video, and Fandango. Again, these are all renting services, so I would say you have to really be into like the camp aesthetic of a slasher, or really want to see what Finn
Yeah,
I mean, I can say
Wolfhard.
a word Wolfhard can do. Like that would kind of have to be the reason to watch this. I don't think it's going to end up on anybody's top tens or anything like that.
Okay, I
Um,
kind of figured.
yeah. The next one. Did you
Yeah,
see this?
yes, I did.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Do you want to talk about it? Or do you
Yeah,
want me to
I'll
talk
bring
about
this one in.
it? Okay.
So this one is Drop with a 95-minute runtime. Everyone's a suspect. Violet, a widowed mother on her first date in years, arrives at an upscale restaurant where she is relieved that her date, Henry, is more charming and handsome than she expected. But their chemistry begins to curdle as Violet begins being irritated and then terrorized by a series of anonymous drops to her phone. Um, yeah, this was very just okay. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally just the epitome of okay film. Like, Eric and I watched it and we're just like, one thing we did say was, girl, this date of yours is Prince fucking Charming, because if I was him, I would have left hours ago. The way you are acting, the way everything is going, he must really fucking like you, because
He
good
must really want to
God.
get laid. Jesus.
Yeah, but I found like the acting to be fine. The story was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Um and a lot of the plot did not make sense with what's going on, and like wasn't very feasible. But yeah, it was a way to pass the time that evening.
Mhm. Mhm.
That it didn't overstay its welcome. I will give it that. The 95-minute runtime, it went by rather quickly. I was watching and wasn't completely bored. So, like I say, it's in that mediocre middle of the line. If you like, this isn't really even horror. If you like thrillers that are kind of lifetimey, then I'd say that check this out. But otherwise, it's not anything to write home about or worth watching. It's not going to make anybody's top 10, or if it does, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I feel like you took the words right out of my mouth. This I was annoyed with her. I was
Yeah.
like, this bitch. Like, come on. And it was so Blumhouse. It was so
Yes.
Blumhouse.
I
It
keep
was
forgetting it was
so
Blumhouse.
like it was so over the top sensational. And yes, was it entertaining and turn off your brain fun? Sure, 100%. You got to be in turn off your brain fun to watch this movie
Yes.
because it makes no sense. It like and then like the ending, how she all of a sudden is this badass. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the stupid fucking diehard shit. That's not Bruce Willis, so it doesn't work. This is 2015. But hey, you know what? It filled a hole for 93 minutes, and it was entertaining enough.
And I love it when my
Um,
hole gets filled.
right, right. So, yeah,
Like, I'm glad I didn't go to theater to see this. I would have been pissed.
me too. I would have been, but I kind of knew it. I'm like, this doesn't look
Yeah.
good. I'm only going to theaters to see this if like I'm super bored and I need something to do.
Right.
So anyway, if you like that's very, I don't know, this would be a great horror film to show someone who's actually likes action movies. You
Yes.
would probably like this, and very like paint by number action movies. It's on Amazon, Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, Cineplex here in Canada. That's the only reason I would recommend watching it. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's a
It's just,
Blumhouse movie,
yeah, it is mediocre at its finest.
right? So yeah. I'm assuming you haven't seen Uncontained.
Nope. This is another one I've seen.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Oh, look
Speaking
at
of
that.
mediocre.
Yes, that's a great way to describe this one too. Do you want to bring it in?
Sure. So,
Yeah, because I think I've watched more than you, right?
you might have. I
Okay.
don't know, but Uncontained. It's got a 99-minute runtime. In the wintry forests of North America, a mysterious drifter struggles to protect an abandoned boy and his little sister from an infection that turns people into a feral-like state. I'm trying to remember a lot of this. I remember the first, I'd say, 30 to 40 minutes. I was intrigued. The mystery of it all, the kind of terror I felt for the little kids because they're, this is basically a zombie scenario, and these little kids are by themselves, and you're led to believe, like, they're left alone and this and that. And then there's just this, I guess you would say, Native American character, if it is an American film, I'm not sure, but that is kind of a straggler that's just kind of surviving out in the wilderness that comes along and meets this family as well. And he just kind of tries to take care of the kids. And then it just kind of gets really boring, really,
Yeah.
really boring. And then turns into this weird, like, kind of action sci-fi thing by the third act. And I didn't understand it, the reasoning behind it. It fell
Yeah.
flat on its face.
That is, again, I feel like you're taking the words out of my mouth today. I was so hopeful at the beginning.
Yeah, like started
I
off so strong.
Yeah, like I thought it would be really, really interesting, and then it got weird.
Yeah,
Like if they had just continued in the choo-choo train route that they were on, then it would have been much better.
yeah.
And
When
then
the
it
mother
kinda
shows
went
up,
yeah, like and then it went kind of fucking weird. And I agree with you. It's a shame because there was a lot of potential here. Especially with the route they were kind of taking with like a post-apocalyptic world,
yeah,
right? But it was I don't know. It ended up just being odd and not making a lot of sense. I
yeah.
don't even know who would like. It's only available from rent from the usual suspects: Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube. Who would you recommend this to?
No one.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair statement. I really would agree with you.
I, I
Yeah,
I can't think of it. Like, I can't think of anyone that would care for this. Like, it might. get Tim's attention, kind of like us, for the first half because it involves kids.
Yeah.
But I think after that, he'd just be like, "Fuck." So Tim, if you watch this, let us know. But it's
Yeah.
uncontained, called Uncontained.
Yeah. It definitely was. Wah, wah.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
no bueno.
The next one though was I don't know. I was also disappointed by this movie.
Really?
Oh man, like why does Paul Rudd keep getting work? I'm sorry. Like he was so miscast in this. I'm
Yeah, I can see it.
oh fuck, and him and Jenna Ortega. Oh my god. Oh, thank God for who was it? I mean, got Will
Will
Poulter.
Poulter.
All right, like fucking thank God for Will and Richard E. Grant and Tia Leone. Like to me, they made it bearable. We're talking about Death of a Unicorn. Payback is a beast. A father and a daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous creative properties. First of all, I love that it was unicorns. I'm gonna say that unicorns were fucking cool. If you like unicorns, watch this fucking movie because that shit's cool. But Jesus Christ, I really wanted Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega to be killed. Like, and what world does she look like she's young enough to be his daughter?
Well, and
She's
according to Tim, he thinks that she looks way too young.
Sure, and that's fine. Like, I get that, but like, I don't know. It was
funny.
fine. Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, it's funny. Your reaction to this is complete opposite of mine.
Well, like I enjoyed the unicorn piece of it, and I enjoyed the story. I'll be honest, I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed like everyone but Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. I
Okay.
enjoyed everybody but them. I wish they had cast other people for this role because otherwise, I really like this movie, and I will definitely say I recommend it to people because I think it's a lot of fun. And I think Will Poulter is fucking awesome in it. I think he's funny. I think he's a great antagonist. I think he's fucking great. Honestly, remove Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, and this movie's like a 10 out of 10. So that's my
Wow.
thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't hate them in their roles, but also they didn't bring anything special to the table. Paul Rudd or Jenna Ortega, they were just kind of the "we're here" characters, the names to sell the movie, basically. But yeah, I was laughing throughout most of this because, like you said, Will Poulter, fucking great, and this nailed his role. The unicorns were badass looking, a little too CGI in some aspects, but this was one of those where I just had a lot of fun with it again. This past month or so since we've recorded, I seem to have gotten a hold of the movies that I'm just going, I'm actually having a good time with 2025.
Yes.
They may not be the
Yeah.
best movies, but I'm having a good time.
Yes.
And
yes.
this is definitely one of those where I could easily rewatch it. I'm hard to say that this would be in my top 10. I'd say this might be top 20 material for me. But I had fun with it. Yeah, I didn't have the issues that you did with Paul and Jenna, but at the same time, like they were just fill-in characters. They really didn't. They could have been cast. Anybody could have been cast in that role, basically.
That's the thing, right? And I just don't feel like Paul Rudd was. I don't think he's a good actor. I'm sorry. I don't.
No, he plays the same character over and over again.
Yeah, like I just didn't get the point, but I did love the unicorn story, and I loved watching unicorns fuck people up. Like,
Yeah,
that
and I
shit was the best.
love the aspect of them changing color with
Yeah,
being pissed and stuff like that.
totally. Like all that shit, I loved. Like just to be clear, a big part of this movie I loved, but I felt like the two leads really took me out of it at times. But
Right,
that being
and
said,
that can
fun
have a
film.
big effect. That can have a big effect if the two main leads are taking it out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why I was so disappointed a little bit because I was really excited because I love unicorns. I love the myth of them. Like I had unicorn posters all over my bedroom as a kid. Still do as an adult. Just kidding. Um,
I got a unicorn tattoo on my ass.
oh, nice. See, there you go. Right? And Erica's like, that's the man I'm gonna marry. So, um, but yeah, I think it's worth watching. Definitely, like I think it's worth the rental. It's on all like Amazon, Apple TV, Plex, Cineplex, like in Canada, Cineplex. Definitely check it out. I don't think people will be disappointed. Like I'm sure no one will hate Paul Rudd as much as I did. Or Jenna Ortega. I just found them so flat, just so flat. No chemistry. I'm like, why the fuck are these two in here?
Yeah,
Like all
they
the
definitely
secondary
didn't.
characters were better.
Yeah.
Even the butler was better.
Yes, the
The
butler
lab
was my
people were
favorite
better.
character.
Like Jesus, like everyone but them made the movie good. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a fair
Right?
critique.
So the next one is, have you
Oh,
seen this next one?
for fuck's sakes, yes, I have.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this movie's called Don't Peek.
Don't
Um,
watch.
don't watch. We won't be long with this one. A professional YouTubing couple whose career is starting to fray their marriage, which they record everything as their marriage is falling apart, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, could you be that obsessed with YouTube anyway? Because I've seen YouTube couples or Facebook couples like that make their money off of
Yeah.
being a couple. You usually don't see the bad shit. They're
No.
usually pretty filtered with that. But anyway, they grapple how to leverage the discovery that the previous owner of their new home was not only a serial killer, but taped his crimes, but also believed his victims were haunting him. These people watched Creep and thought they could do something that was like that. That's what happened.
Without knowing how to fucking
Yes, write a
make
movie.
well, write a movie and without knowing how to edit your sound design to not like crackle and blare out your speakers when the antagonist is there. Like when the
Yes.
antagonist has his video, oh my god, that was grating to my ears because it's like 10 times louder than the couples. And then it had like that staticky. I don't know if it was just our copy that we had or what, but god, it, sound design was awful and made it just horrible to listen to. And just
I could not agree more.
characters were dumb. The villain was dumb. This was just dumb all the way. I just did not have fun. Um, there is our friend Esme Gray, which is our friend Jason Gray, who has came out and said that he prefers to be called Esme,
Oh,
or
very nice.
they prefer, or she. I'm not sure of the pronouns. Esme, I'm sorry if it's she or they, but let me know. I want to be respectful. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But I noticed they had a good time with it. But yeah, this was not something
As
that.
me, it would go into this movie and would get it better than we would, and would look at it
Yeah.
as a great entry level found footage. And Scott and I are just tired and we can't use Skype.
Yes.
Okay.
We're too old fogey.
We're elder millennials and we're tired. So tired.
So tired.
So tired. So Esme, thank you for keeping found footage love alive.
Yeah.
Scott and I didn't like this.
Yeah, it was not my jam.
But it is available on Tubi. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is available on Tubi. So,
Yes.
so if you are a found footage completist and you would like to see a found footage and you watch all found footage, then watch it. It is on Tubi. If you are
Yep.
not, skip this one.
Yes. I was gonna say Tubi is a good place for it. Like it belongs there, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It just belongs there because it's like something that you can just kind of turn on, and you may like it, you may not. I was not a fan.
Yeah. 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 Now the next one. This is where Scott and I are going to be snobby dicks.
Maybe.
Well, because there's a lot of people out there that think
Oh yes.
it's the first time this has been done.
Yeah. So you want me to bring this one in?
Yeah, you bring this in.
All right. So the movie is Locked. 90. It's got a 95-minute runtime. No escape, no mercy, just survival. When Eddie breaks into a luxury SUV, he steps into a deadly trap set by William, a self-proclaimed vigilante delivering his own brand of twisted justice. With no means of escape, Eddie must fight to survive in a ride where escape is an illusion, survival is a nightmare, and justice shifts into high gear. So yeah, this is, if a lot of people might not know, because this was kind of one of those like hidden gems of I think 2021 or 2022.
Or for serious podcasters.
But this is a remake of an Argentinian film called 4x4. I had to call out Fangoria because they had made a post saying, new original horror films in theaters, Locked, and I'm going, well, to be fair, it's not original. It's a remake. I mean, and I understand, most people would not know that, but come on, Fangoria, you're a horror magazine. You should know this by now. But I digress. That's just me and my little snotty ways there at the moment. But
Well, and I'm looking at our friends' reviews because I'm looking to see if anyone else caught on, and no one else is sharing. And I'm disappointed in every single podcaster we know if you did not know this was a remake.
yeah, well, I mean, they may not have even seen the original.
Don't care. They should. They're podcasters.
But
Scott and I knew. We talked about it on this show.
yes, we
So
did.
if you were a fan of our show, you would know.
And I was a big
This
fan
was
of
fucking
this
four
movie.
by four.
In fact, actually, I think I gave this the survival movie of the year award.
And it was almost a scene by scene remake, just to be clear too.
Yeah, till the third act.
Yeah, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, thankfully though, for being an American remake, they casted some very good actors. Bill
Yes, they did.
Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, they did amazing in their roles. I thought they were great. And yeah, but yeah, it was basically the exact same movie. Just the third act was changed up with Anthony Hopkins
Hmm.
doing what he did in the third act instead of what happened in the Argentinian film.
And I will say both did the same thing for me. By the time I got to the third act, I was tired of it.
Fair.
Like I feel like eventually I'm like, can you get the fuck out of this car? But I did enjoy the acting of this. I do think it's a great film, and I'm not going to take away people's love of this movie, but I want to just make it clear that it's a remake because it bothers me when I see things like this is so original. It's not original just because it's North American. It was made by a country, Argentina. It was created 5 years ago.
Yep.
And the thing is, if you read it online, they totally say it's a remake.
Yeah.
Right? Like the director talks about it. Like it's definitely open that no, we got inspiration. We basically remade this film. So I appreciate that. But just for the horror fans out there, it is indeed a remake.
And the
it's
horror
a
news
good
site.
one. Yes, and the horror news site is a fucking remake.
Yeah.
Right? But I would say it's one of the better American remakes. So I will give it that.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's worth a watch. I think you should watch both, to be honest with you. They are very similar, but I think you should watch 4x4 first, to be honest, and then watch
Yep.
the remake.
Yeah, I agree because then you can
Right?
see the differences and
Yeah.
even the differences. Like I think I gave them both like a 7.5. Like
Yeah.
they were both like very good, like not very good, but very entertaining for me. I wasn't bored like over it like you did, like because I know you were like that with the original too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was invested the entire time, kind of like Erica was kind of like you. She was invested for a bit and then just lost interest
Yeah.
towards the end. But
Yeah.
me, I think for both films, I was invested all the way through. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth a rental. It was in theaters too, which was interesting because I didn't hear much hype about it or even trailer for it to announce that it was in theaters. But it's available now on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video, Flix Fling, YouTube, and available to buy on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video, and YouTube as well. And I definitely recommend if you're into those like survival horror movies where, this guy is trapped in a car that is like super high tech. You got to kind of throw logic out the window on how something like this could be made, but it's still a entertaining movie, and I recommend it.
Agreed. So basically rent it on any of the providers, Amazon, YouTube, Cineplex here in Canada.
Yes.
We recommend it. Just watch 4x4 first.
Yeah. 100%.
Cryptic. Yep. Anyway.
Yep. Moving on.
This won't be long. Did you watch this movie?
No, I did not.
No, thank God. Okay. So a woman's search for a missing cryptozoologist leads to her own riveting cosmic quest for identity. Okay. So this is a 95-minute runtime. Let me say this. It sets it up really cool. It has a big Bigfoot thing and this person's gone missing. How are we going to find them? But Jesus Christ, did this movie drag. Jesus Christ.
Seems to be the theme this year.
Oh, on and on. And I will be honest, this is something that should have been coming out from A24 or IFC Midnight. Like this is their kind of jam. If you like following a character as they examine cryptic zoologist stuff like Bigfoot, aliens, species, whether they existed or not, then you will like this film. This will be a film for you. If you are an average horror fan, I don't think you need to watch this film. I think it will drag out a lot because it is very dialogue heavy. It is a lot of staring at the screen, watching the character stare into the wilderness.
Oh boy.
Watching the character be sad in the bathroom at the staring at the mirror. You know what I mean? Like that real artistic, like,
yeah.
Like they're trying to do the substance, but not as well. Again, they watch the substance and like, oh man, look at those artistic scenes where Debbie Moore's vacuuming and like fucked up. We should do the same thing, but it doesn't land. Movie. Just because someone else did it doesn't mean you can too. Okay.
Fair.
My niece did cartwheels at the park yesterday. Then she flipped over and she went on the monkey bars and flipped herself around the monkey bars and like basically looked like a gymnast. I can't do that because I'm 42 fucking years old. There's some things not everybody can do that somebody else can do. Okay, because if
That
I
is a
did
very
it,
good point.
I would be in the ER still and we wouldn't be recording. So let's just know our limits and play within it moving forward. Anyway, if for some reason that what I said, like if you do really like that slow burn, you do really like those still shots, and you really do like this whole cryptic shit, then yes, this is a movie for you. You can find it on Apple TV, Flick Fling, Plex, for rental if you would like. So
Good to know. I will
yes,
make sure to avoid.
it is fine. Now this one,
Oh boy.
movie of the year. I'm gonna lead it in. Fuck you, Scotty. It's the best movie
Yeah.
ever. A Breed Apart. This is a movie that I thought was going to be a remake of The Breed, but it kind of is, but not. Like it kind of is like, have you seen The Breed? Wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah.
nudge. We're going to kind of talk about it, but it's not The Breed. Like, subscribe, survive. Also, social media influencers. When Violet accepts an invitation to a private island with some of the world's most famous social influencers, she expects a weekend of unrivaled viral opportunities. She soon becomes part of her own horrific reality show when the guests are pitted against each other to capture the island's Cherry. I can't say this. Legacy? Yes, Legacy.
Legendary?
Legendary. Fucking Legacy. Man-eating dogs before they become victims of the monstrous canines that are definitely not CGI. Wink,
Wink.
wink.
And Jesus Christ, that synopsis could not be any more wrong about the main character. She didn't want any viral opportunities, and also they were not pitted against each other at all.
Nope. But that's fine. You know what? We're here for it. Because you know what was in this movie? Puppies. And I don't really fucking care because there was dogs. I like that there was dogs. There was a really cute puppy at one point, and then they CGI'd it because it attacked a lady, and then she had to like throw it against a tree, which I thought was hilarious because it was clearly CGI.
Yeah.
Like they all, I don't know. This movie's fucking dumb. It's about a bunch of dogs that attack people, and then like the dogs go CGI because they come crazy, and the people fight off the dogs in the most realistic, ridiculous ways possible. All the characters are annoying. You don't care about any of them. You're hoping they're all gonna die. You don't give a shit if any of them make it out. They all make stupid decisions. The ending's super dumb. This whole movie's dumb, but I was fucking here for it.
Yeah, I have not finished it. I got about halfway through and I'm going, do I even want to go back? But I messaged you and went, you need to watch this. This is like your type of dumb comedy. This is like it's got puppies. This is totally a Heather movie. You need to watch it because I know you'll like it. I'm not enjoying myself with it right now, but I'll probably at least finish it off just so I can add it to my list. But Jesus Christ, I hated every character. Hayden Panettiere was basically like, I was in the Scream movie twice. I'm here now. Thanks for the paycheck. Okay, bye.
That is exactly. And she was also in the movie that we. Oh no, she wasn't. Was she in the movie where the Weed Farm? Was that her? The Weed Farm horror.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if that was her. No, I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Anyway, A Breed Apart. If you like German Shepherds, and you like German Shepherds being ravenous and then turning into CGI dogs that are ravenous and fucking up people, this movie's for you. If you watched The Breed and you were like, I want more, this movie's for you.
I want more, but with even more annoying characters.
Yes. I made the people, the Sack and the ladies from the Summer Party Massacre watch The Breed. And they hated it. And all I said was this movie was the best because it had dogs in it. And the fact that you guys don't like it means you don't like animals and that you're murderers. I'm like, first of all, there's dogs.
Yeah,
Second of all, there's dogs.
And third of all, there's dogs.
There's dogs. So, I don't know.
And even, I will say, River was really invested. He was watching because of all the puppers.
Right?
And he's only got one eye. And he was like, he's like, my people.
He's like, yeah, they're fucking shit up as they should. So this is 100 minutes. I loved it. Okay. Real rating, this is a solid 3.5 out of 10. Heather rating, this is a 10 out of 10.
I knew it.
Real movie, 3.5. You side on my side of things and you're simple like me, 10 out of 10. Watch the film.
I love it. And Scotty rating, it's a 5 out of 10. Like the only redeeming quality is the puppies.
Right, and that's fair. That's fair.
and
So
and I think I enjoyed watching River watch the movie more than I watching the movie.
I'm gonna flip it and reverse it because I think the last two movies affected us because we're bringing back a movie
Yes.
that you went and watched. So we don't need to go over it too much because we didn't
No.
watch it, but I really want to hear your reaction to it.
Yep, that's why I put it dead last because I was like, yep, it'll be quick and easy, just like me in general. But anyways, uh,
I want to hear it now. I'm really excited.
yeah, yeah. So I ended up watching The Rule of Jenny Penn, and the reason I kind of held off for a while is just because my stepdad had gone through a lot of shit recently, like medical wise, and I was not going to be in the right headspace for something this heavy that kind of dealt with getting older. And he's doing better now, thankfully, and he didn't have to go to a home like we were kind of worried about at first. But yeah, so I watched this, and god damn, this was a fucking good movie.
Mm-hmm.
John Lithgow is a fucking dick bully. Holy shit! Like
Mm-hmm.
he was mean, but like the acting in this was phenomenal. Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow were absolute incredible stuff, like incredible acting power, and their chemistry together, being on opposite sides, went so well together. But goddamn, this was a heavy, kind of sad film, just because and I like you just said, I love that they actually showed a nursing home where the people working at this nursing home aren't complete fucking dicks. They're actually
No.
trying to take care of the patients and like doing what they can and having the patience to deal with some of the people and the way they are. But yeah, just like some of what happens in this movie is just very heavy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It kind of hit me in the personal feelings because of everything I've been going through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad I finally watched it, and I felt like I was time, like because everything was better with my stepfather. So yeah, this was an amazing movie, and it will definitely be in my top 10.
I'm very glad to hear that. I'm looking forward to us. We'll bring it up again this year. It will
Yeah, it's
definitely be brought up.
this is definitely one I won't be rewatching a lot just because of
No,
how heavy it is, but goddamn, is it good?
but excellent film. Another good film. The ending got a little sidetracked, but which I don't know was my fucking life played out on screen.
Yeah,
So as I have discussed, actually before we were supposed to record this podcast back on August 11th, my dad tragically died of a heart attack. I was actually on the call with Scotty when my mom called me to let me know the paramedics were there and my dad was unresponsive. Um, and my life changed. After that, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer again. And good news is that she had the spot removed from her breast and the cancer has not spread. They
thank
actually
God.
thought they did, but that doesn't seem like it right now. And she's able to do radiation only.
That's great.
Yes. So it's been a year.
Yes, yes, it has.
Year. So this movie, when it came out, I do believe that I do believe in God and I believe in spirits and I believe in a lot of different things. And I do believe that my dad has been with me through a lot of this, especially because my mom is a strong-willed person, much like me. So it's been fun. But this movie is called The Surrenderer, and it's about a mother-daughter relationship when their husband slash father dies. And I won't give too much away, but there was a conversation that the mother and the daughter have, which I could have swore this writer went into my mom's house and videoed my mom and I having this conversation. Like it was verbatim, the exact same conversation.
Which is freaking
Um,
crazy.
which was crazy and yet so crazily therapeutic.
Yes.
There was a part where the daughter leaves the house and just screams outside, and I remember feeling that way after leaving my mom's place after my dad had died, and just dealing with my mom's incredible amount of guilt and sadness, and a sadness that you can't fix. Like there's no fixing it. So
Yeah.
this movie for me, it was very therapeutic. Now if I remove my piece from it, I do think that this is a movie that if you have lost a parent and perhaps you were an only child or you were highly involved in the dynamic, you should watch when you are ready. I found it quite healing, but not everybody would find it like that.
Right.
Right. That aside, great acting. The acting is great. Whoever wrote this clearly has been in this situation and was able to relate with, someone going through it. The ending gets a little weird. It gets kind of like that Dark Song one. Remember where like they do this the like that whole it's like this weeks of like their ceremonies and they're trying to
Oh
like
yeah,
remember that movie? It's kind of like that. There's a lot of that kind of pulled into it, which was interesting. Um so it does kind of play on the paranormal a lot too, but really really solid, well made film. It's a 95-minute runtime, and if you have experienced a loss and it's been enough time, for me this was refreshing and very very nice to see what I experienced on screen and to not feel like I'm crazy, like to not feel like I'm the only one, because even though of course I know I'm not, it was nice to see it played out. I'm sure you
exactly.
kind of felt something similar with the rule of Jenny Pin.
Yep.
To
And then,
see,
well, and like I said, this is your After Midnight. How After
yeah,
Midnight was very therapeutic for me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I do think it's worth a watch on Shutter. I would recommend it, Scotty. I don't think you're in a situation right now like Wayne is doing well, and I think that this wouldn't trigger you for anything, but I think it does give a very clear what happens when family dynamics change. And
Yeah.
I give Shutter credit. Like where other years Shutter has sucked, I will say they've dropped interesting things. And
Yeah.
whether they're your number one film or not doesn't matter. It's different and it's interesting.
Exact. They always bring something unique
Hmm.
and might be more real lifestyle horror,
Yeah,
like, and not like the typical spooky jump scare horror, which is what I
yeah,
appreciate. They have that as well, but they have a variety.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's worth the purchase. If for some reason you're not subscribed to Shutter, depending where you live, because I know definitely different places Shutter you get different things. Like, and when I'm in
Yeah.
the UK, my Shutter's different than it is when I'm here. Um,
Especially in Australia, it seems.
yeah. So I understand that it's different, but I think if you live in North America, Canada, or United States, I think Shutter is definitely worth your investment.
100%.
I took off our older watch simply because I was worried about Edmund waking up before we finished.
All
So
right. And I gotta run to the bathroom real quick before you
okay,
get into your next thing because I want to
I
hear
can.
this.
Okay, well then I'll talk about my older watch real quickly then,
Okay, I will be
because
right
you
back.
you don't care about that. So,
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I do care about it, but yeah, I
but
can
you
jump
don't.
in and
Yeah,
listen.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
I'll be
the
right
old.
back.
All right, sounds good. So the older watch that I was going to talk about, which is fitting that I'm talking about my nephew being here, is called The Baby 1973. So I saw this movie a little bit ago, and I had to watch it for another podcast. And let me tell you, it is weird as fuck. I don't know if you folks out there have seen this film, but Jesus Christ, is it weird? It's based upon a concept that this older man, I think he's in his 30s, believes that he is still a baby. And this social worker is trying to work with the family to understand whether they are allowing this behavior to continue, if there's a form of abuse, neglect, whatever. And as the plot twist turns out, the social worker is the evil one because she's trying to bring this man to her house because her husband experienced a traumatic brain injury and wants a playmate, which is who she brings as this gentleman who's a baby. It was uncomfortable to watch. I found it weird. It was very much a 1970s film that I don't think could have been remade in this time period. I hope it never is. Yeah, I'll give them credit for doing something different, and I'm glad that I'd add it to my watch list because it is a well-known movie, but it definitely isn't something that I would recommend anyone needs to go out and watch. But it is The Baby 1973. So while Scotty's coming back, I will just set up the discussion for what we're going to topic about. So just recently, I went over to the United Kingdom. I went to stay in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is somewhere that I go frequently. I have some friends there, very close friends that I go and I spend time with. While I was there this time, I saw a couple of different plays, including a Peter James play called It's Where You're Dead, which is a crime thriller in the Theatre Royal, which was great. I also saw a play called Handbag, which talked about Margaret Thatcher and Queen Elizabeth's relationship and how they think they would have connected. as well as did some wine tasting and some other, live music events. But the biggest thing was that I hosted an event. I can hear that Scotty is back.
Yep.
So it's great. I'm just leading into the event. You missed me
Oh,
talking
perfect.
about my whole other bullshit. Um, so I hosted an event for my friend Mark Iverson and Lucy Dawlish, also known as Harte, who is a Wiccan high priest. So, and the event was Meet the Author, Meet the Witch. So what we did for this event is we were in a pub there. We had a back room that also looks very medieval because everything in England looks medieval. And I did some question and answers with them. So for Mark, this is his third book. It is on Peter Cushing and his abroad career outside of England. And Lucy talked about her experience being a Wiccan high priestess. And what was interesting is that she kind of talked about her background of being a someone that was devoted to the Christian faith. She was a minister, and then switching over to the Wiccan faith. So I had a couple of questions, and I would go back and ask them each questions. There is a video that I will share. So it was recorded, and of course, people can watch it if they choose to. There's absolutely no pressure to do that. But it was fascinating. It was fascinating to hear about Mark's decision to write about Peter Cushing. It's particularly about his career internationally with films, a lot of films that he made internationally and the different tone he took with that. And Lucy's journey into being a Wiccan and the misconceptions among the Wiccan faith and how it's really come commercialized. Like
Oh
how
yeah.
you can go into the mall now and there's these crystals and there's this and there's that. And she's like, it's really taking away from the authenticity of what this faith practices and believes. So that was really fascinating. I did talk a little bit about our podcast briefly because no one really cared about me being there, except for the fact that I'm Canadian. And they chatted with me after, and some people said they were going to listen. So if you are one of the people at the event who have decided to listen, thank you for listening to Scott and I. You're definitely going to be happy to hear Scott because he's much more better spoken than I am with stuff. So you will
Eh,
enjoy you will enjoy hearing him. But yeah, it was a very good time, and I'm glad the event went well. And I will share that YouTube video for people that want to watch it.
yeah, that is awesome. I look because I remember you telling me about it. I remember you sending me pictures of the flyer when it first got created, and you guys were talking about it like months ago. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that it went as well as it did, and I look forward to checking out that video at some point. Like, because
Yeah.
yeah, I also need to pick up some of Mark's books at some point because I like he writes about some of the actors that I really enjoyed growing up. Like, so I would love to read that, especially since I've gotten back into reading as much as I have.
You would really like his Cursed Horror Stars. I'll be honest, that is my favorite one because he talks a little bit about several, and it's kind of like an anthology. And I kind of like that. Like, I really do like anthology flows, which reminds me, we haven't had a good anthology yet this year. I hope that happens at some point.
Yeah, I think it's right.
Yeah, but I would recommend Cursed Horror Stars, his first book. I think his other two books are great as well. But I really think you would enjoy that one, so I would recommend that one.
Okay,
So.
awesome. Yeah, I will have to look into that, and because I'm sure it can be ordered on Amazon and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
I order all his books on Amazon. So yes, absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see how this Google Meets record went. Yay, us.
Yeah,
Um,
let's
yay,
hope it actually works.
technology. Scott and I will be back hopefully next month as well as we work our way towards Scotty's wedding in October and I don't know, figuring out how we're going to record this podcast. You'll continue to hear from us monthly as we continue to navigate, our elder millennial technology worlds and as well as recording this podcast. But yeah, as always, you can please support us. Please support the Legion Patreon page. If you don't already, they support small little podcasts like Scotty and I. They've been great to us over the past 5 years. We could have done it without their support, and it means a lot. So if
Yeah.
you're not a member yet, on theme of something that's coming out this year, Scotty wants to know.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Jennifer Love Hewitt better be saying this in the remake. What are you waiting for?
I hope
Join us.
I hope there's some kind of tie-in. Whether she says it or someone else says it, I hope someone says it because it's got to be said.
Yeah, and I hope it's just like in a very just nonchalant way. What are you waiting
Right. Yes. I hope it's super like what are you waiting for? Like something
for?
like that, right?
Yeah, just something ridiculous.
So we will be back again. Who knows? Final Destination. Hopefully both of us have seen the sixth one by
Yeah,
that time.
I've been hearing so many good things, and I cannot wait. And It sounds like I may have a emotional moment in that with Tony Todd from
I
because apparently
know.
he did an ad lib line that kind of hits home.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited because I've heard nothing but amazing things. Like even the hater Rob Humphrey said it was okay, and he hates the Final Destination movies.
You made it as a Final Destination film when Rob doesn't hate it,
Yeah,
right?
when he said that, I was going, "Oh my God, hell is frozen over."
Well, thank you everyone for listening, including Rob,
Yeah.
who listens to our bullshit all the time. And we look forward to seeing you next month when we talk about the exciting and never-ending world of horror movies in 2025 and see what platform we've decided to record on. Should be interesting.
Yeah, and see if we can navigate our way through all this crap. Thanks, Microsoft. Fuck you for taking away Skype.
Fuck you, Skype. Fuck you. So, do you have anything to say to the good people, Scotty?
As always, thank you again for listening to us and putting up with our crazy asses and our bullshit. And until next time, kiddies, unpleasant dreams.
See? See ya.